Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Todd and Julie Chrisley? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Michael Todd Chrisley was born in Georgia on April 6, 1969. He was raised in South Carolina. He goes by his middle name, Todd. In 1990, he married his high school girlfriend, Teresa Terry. They would go on to have 2 children together, Lindsay and Kyle. The couple would divorce in April 1996. On May 25, 1996, Todd Chrisley married a woman named Julie, who was from South Carolina. Julie was 9 months pregnant at the time. She would give birth to a son named Chase on June 1, 1996. On August 11, 1997, the couple had a daughter named Savannah, and on May 16, 2006, they had a son named Grayson. Todd owned a real estate business. He would buy houses, fix them up, and sell them. The business ran into some financial trouble when the market collapsed in 2008. In 2009, a woman named Annie Kate Ponce was hired by Todd's real estate company. She was employed to help Todd start a luxury department store, but the store never actually opened. According to Annie, Todd owed her $10,000 in back wages, but she let it go, and they parted ways on good terms. By late 2010, Annie was working for a co-creator of the Oprah Winfrey Show. She brought up the idea of a show based on the Chrisley family. Amazingly, 8 different networks made offers for the show, like they wanted the show. Todd and Julie accepted an offer from the USA Network, and the show Chrisley Knows Best premiered on March 11, 2014. The title came from the 1954 TV series Father Knows Best. The show was successful, particularly among young viewers. The fact that it found any audience defies rational explanation. The show ran for 9 seasons before being canceled in November 2022. There were some other series tied in with the Chrisley family. Growing Up Chrisley was a reality series which focused on the lives of Chase and Savannah. It was canceled in November 2022 as well. Julie had her own web series called What's Cooking with Julie Chrisley. It only lasted 1 season. I guess that answers the question in the title. Failure was cooking. Todd had his own show called According to Chrisley. It was canceled after 1 season. In May 2022, another series was approved featuring Todd Chrisley. It was called Love Limo. The show would have featured Todd helping people use speed dating to form romantic relationships. Fortunately, the Love Limo crashed before running over any innocent viewers. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. Todd and Julie Chrisley did more than just star in a reality TV series. According to prosecutors, from 2007 to 2012, which was before the TV show, the couple funded their lavish lifestyle by defrauding banks out of more than $30 million. They submitted fake documents to the banks to take out loans. They used new loans to repay old loans, but eventually they were buried in debt. Todd Chrisley declared bankruptcy in 2012. He claimed that he was $50 million in debt because a real estate development loan had gone bad. The bankruptcy trustee was suspicious. Todd and Julie were living in a mansion, spending money on fancy clothing, driving expensive vehicles, and traveling extensively. After the bankruptcy, the couple attempted to hide $6 million from the IRS. This is money they earned from the reality TV show. The couple was trying to avoid paying the IRS $500,000 Todd owed from his 2009 taxes. Eventually, the couple was investigated for their crimes. They were indicted in 2019. I guess they went from Chrisley Knows Best to Chrisley Knows Arrest. The couple blamed a former employee for their indictment. They said they fired the worker for stealing from them. To get revenge, the worker took phony documents to the U.S. Attorney's Office. The couple attempted to escape responsibility in other ways as well. For example, they submitted a false document to a grand jury that was investigating them, and the couple convinced family members and friends to lie under oath during their trial. In June 2022, Todd and Julie Chrisley were convicted on charges of bank fraud, tax evasion, and conspiring to defraud the IRS. Julie was also convicted of wire fraud and obstruction of justice. In November of 2022, Todd was sentenced to 12 years in prison, and Julie was sentenced to 7. They are set to report to prison in January 2023. The couple's accountant was convicted of conspiracy to defraud the IRS and willfully filing false tax returns. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1 is a summary of the TV show Chrisley Knows Best. The reality series tracked the antics of the Chrisley family. The show was filmed in Atlanta, but during the 4th season, the family moved to a $3.4 million mansion in Nashville, Tennessee. The cast of characters included Todd, Julie, their 3 children, as well as their granddaughter and Todd's mother. Various members of the family would get into tight situations and generally involve themselves in nonsense. The TV show was supposed to be a reality series, but it was clearly scripted. To say the actors were horrendous would be like saying Todd Chrisley cheated banks out of a small amount of money. Both assertions are massive understatements. The timing was off, and the emotional expressions of the characters did not always match what they were saying. It was so bad I wouldn't even call it acting. It was just saying words while being in the proximity of video and audio recording equipment. The plot lines from the episodes were basically recycled from old TV shows and movies. They were highly predictable, forced, and jaded. The titles of some of the episodes appear to be metaphors for just how stale the ideas were. For example, failure to launch, Dollars and Cents, with cents spelled S-E-N-S-E, The Wrath of Todd, 50 Shades of Faye, Differing Strokes, Pitch Perfection, Baking Bad, Grandma Theft Auto, and Mrs. Doubt Higher. Todd Chrisley was clearly the star of the show. He was the only one that had anything even approaching acting talent. His character, or persona, was supposed to be afraid of germs and dirt. He was irritable, unreasonable, and demanding. Essentially, he was perfectionistic and strict, which led to tension with his children. Todd often delivered snarky comments and rhyming statements, which were mercilessly repeated many times throughout the series. Item number 2. Some people have wondered if Todd's flamboyant style and love of fashion indicate something about his sexual orientation. Others have been more direct. For example, Todd's former business partner, Mark Braddock, said that he had an affair with Todd. Todd's son Kyle also accused his father of lying about his sexuality. Todd Chrisley has denied any rumors suggesting he's gay or bisexual. Some have suggested that the reality show took advantage of the mystery surrounding Todd's behavior in an effort to create humor value, like they were hinting that something was there, but I didn't see that in any of the episodes that I watched when researching this video. It's worth noting that I didn't watch much of the show, mostly because it was atrocious. Item number 3. Todd and Julie Chrisley received fairly long sentences considering their crimes. Some have questioned the fairness of their sentences. I think the couple ran into a few problems as far as their sentencing. They launched a reality show 2 years after Todd went bankrupt, yet on the show, the family clearly spends excessive amounts of money. This was all a fantasy. The money was obtained through fraud. The Chrisleys never accepted responsibility for their crimes. They lied and blamed others. They demonstrated absolutely no remorse. I'm usually not a big fan of prison sentences for property crimes, but I think that prison is where this couple belongs. I would have gone with a lighter sentence, maybe something closer to 2 years. I think it would be cruel to expose the other prisoners to this couple for longer than that. Item number 4. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. When Todd and Julie Chrisley started doing well financially, they became accustomed to the good life. Todd's success was dependent on a strong real estate market. As 2008 approached and the market cooled off drastically, he no longer enjoyed that advantage. This resulted in financial devastation. To maintain their lifestyle, they defrauded banks out of money. This created an illusion of success, which allowed them to land a reality TV show. When they started making money from the show, they probably could have repaid many of their debts and escaped the consequences of their behavior, but they continued to live a lavish lifestyle. Todd had a well-developed ability to manipulate as well as a lot of charisma. He was able to use these to avoid suspicion. What he did not have, however, was insight. He believed that he could simply lie to people indefinitely and get away with it. The couple knew that they were guilty, but they refused to accept responsibility, which resulted in longer prison sentences. Society greatly benefits from these prison sentences. It means people are spared from the never-ending reality show projects of the Chrisley family. Todd and Julie Chrisley obtained undeserved fame in every sense of the term. They did not have talent. They did not have anything meaningful to offer to society. They didn't have wealth, which was a key part of the show. I guess the good news for the couple is that now they have something they actually deserve, a prison sentence. Now moving to my final thoughts. Todd and Julie Chrisley were on a show where they used fraudulently obtained money to create fake situations that were supposed to be real. In a sense, they were operating at two levels of deception. The producers of the show were deceived about where the money came from, and the audience was deceived about everything. The couple does not have to give up on their reality show dreams just because they're going to prison. In staying with the theme of using episode titles from TV shows, a few different projects come to mind. For example, How I Met Your Cellmate, Big House on the Prairie, Convicted Development, and Star Trek: The Next Attention. The Chrisleys might not reach as many viewers behind bars, but they will have a captive audience. Those are my thoughts on Todd and Julie Chrisley. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comments section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.